Okay, so I think this is gonna be the build for SOD PvP at level 25. I think this is gonna beat Destruction. I think this is gonna beat Metamorphosis builds, whatever I can come up with. I think Affliction is gonna be the spec to play at 25. And the reasoning behind that is just because of this ability right here, Haunt. I think Haunt is just so freaking good. It just gives you so much healing. So the runes you would play would be Master Channeler, Haunt, and then to pair it up with, you have Everlasting Affliction, which is actually really good because it saves you a lot of mana. So every time you Haunt, you drain life, it just refreshes your corruption. It's just like, it just helps a lot with mana. Now, the spec that you would play, for me personally, I would go 5 points into Improved Corruption, 5 points into Suppression, 2 points into Life Tap, 2 points into Drain Life, 1 point to Amplify Curse, and 1 point to Nightfall. The reason why I'm going Nightfall is because it synergizes very well with Master of Channeler. So every time your Drain Life ticks and your Corruption ticks, you have a chance for Nightfall to proc. And I think that's just very, very powerful. So if you ever get a proc, it's just insane damage. Amplify Curse, I'm not too big of a fan of, but you never know, it could come in handy. 50% more damage on your Curse of Agony. I think it's very good. And the reason why you go Suppression, guys, is because it's not just for the hit rating. Like, Suppression doesn't work in a way where it's like, if you go over hit cap, it starts going into a different realm of like resist and hit. So like, for example, like it helps you against like shadow resist stuff, which we're gonna have in a BFD. For example, like Invoker Void's Pearl. I mean, there's certain items and certain trinkets that give you shadow resist. So maxing out suppression is very, very good, especially in this phase. In terms of gearing, guys, this is what I decided to go. I might mix things up a little bit. Let's start off with the weapon. Rod of the Ancient Sleepwalker. You can have two options. You go Rod of Ancient Sleepwalker, which is Epic Staff. If you can't obtain this, and if you have a little bit more gold, you can always just go Dagger of Willing Sacrifice, pair that up with the Tome of Cavern Lore. This is more than fine as well. More than fine. Just whatever you can get. The trade-off is, I think, 7 spell power. If you go Rod, you get 7 more spell power. If you go Dagger of Willing Sacrifice with Tome of Cavern Lore, you get 7 more stamina. No, wait. 10 more stamina, so 100 HP. I think the difference here is very, very minimal, where it doesn't make too much of a difference. Just go with whatever you can get, and then just put intellect on that bad boy. 3 intellect. Helmet, I'm deciding to go with Twilight Invoker Shawl. 9 spirit, 11 stamina, 7 spell power. But the best part is it gives you access to that 2-piece bonus. And the 2-piece bonus you're going to pair up with Twilight Invoker Robes, which is 11 intellect, 9 stamina, and 8 damage. People ask me why do you go in Twilight Invoker Robes instead of Clan Weave Tunic for the armor. The trade-off here is pretty much 20 HP and 80 armor, but you're going to be losing 17 spell power that you wouldn't get from the 2-piece. So I would recommend, especially for Affliction, maybe for Demo you would play this, but for Affliction, you go with the 2-piece of Twilight Invoker Shawl and Twilight Invoker Robes. I think that is what is going to be better here. Jagged Bone Necklace is going to be the necklace to use. There's another shadow one here you could get too, which is not as bad, but Jagged Bone Necklace gives you some armor. So it just depends on what you kind of value. You can go stam, shadow resist, shadow damage, or you can go armor, spirit, spell power. It's very minor. Whatever you can get. It's very, very, very minor there. Shoulders. This is going to be the best option here. I believe it's only shoulders that give you spell power, and again, as Affliction, you just want HP, spell power. That's gonna make your dots tick way harder. This is dropped from BFD by killing Jagged. So he's a boss in the raid. But in order to obtain the quest, guys, what you need to do is you need to go to the entrance of BFD, like the outside of BFD, kill one of the casters. The casters will give you like a book or like a text, and it activates a quest for you. You go back to Strand, you turn it in, and then you get a quest for Frayed Chestnut Mantle. That's how you get the shoulders. Engineer's Cloak. You can settle for Dokepi Cape as well. Just 5 stam, 2 int. Engineer's Cloak's pretty easy to get. I think it's just a quest in Stone Talon. Very, very straightforward. You can get this pretty easy on Horde side. On Ally side, I'm not sure what the options are for Ally side, but for Horde side, Engineer's Cloak is very easy to get. Okay, Durable Bracers of Eagle. Now this is gonna be probably one of the harder things to get, just because like if you just find it on the auction house, you have to snipe it if it's cheap. But go for as high as intellect stamina as you can for bracers. We don't really have too many options in terms of the raid, so it's just gonna be high stam, high int, whatever you can get. Oh, true. Yes, you can get Sergeant's Cloak on the cloak one here, but for some reason it just doesn't show. That's that you can do once you do PvP. Okay, so moving on to gloves, guys. Hand wraps of befouled water. This is probably your best option. You can also go black fingerless gloves. Both are okay, but I decided to go with this one because it gives you 69 armor, 4-inch, 6 stam, 69 armor, and then shadow spells. Your own as this PvP build, you're only gonna be playing using shadow abilities anyway, so it's not the end of the world to just have shadow spells or shadow damage on your gear, because you're only gonna be pressing affliction. I mean, yeah, corruption, agony, drain life, haunt. Those are all shadow stuff. So this is more than fine. 69 armor, super high value. Gemmu's Ratch Kinch is just a stat stick. 8 stam, 8 in. Pretty straightforward there. Soul Leech Pants. This is from the last boss, I believe. You have 2 versions. I personally have this one right here. If Soul Leech is better, but I mean, just get one of the 2 pants and you'll be good. Void Boots. So Void Boots, guys, is gonna take you some time. You have to make the Spider Silk Boots from tailoring. So you need 100 plus tailoring. Make Spider Silk Boots, which costs like 2 pearls. It's gonna be a little bit pricey unless you farm it yourself. And after that, you go do the Void Quest. The Void Quest itself is pretty easy. It's just a lot of running around. I suggest going with like your raid group or your friends, and then just run around the map. You go like BFD, Ratchet, Hillsbrad, a lot of just running around. And there are plenty of guides out there you can check out. It is called the BFD Void items. Advisor Ring, I believe this is from the PvP stuff. It's been a while since I used this item, but I think it's from the PvP stuff. Plains Ring. Plains Ring is gonna be very difficult to get. It's just a BOE, and it's gonna go for a hella gold. So if you can't get that, you can go for like a Spell Power Ring or Seal Sylvanas. Seal Sylvanas is solid. 8 stam, 3 strength. You know, just anything like ego related or like heavy stam is gonna be solid. And I think there's actually some rings you can get from like maybe the raid too. But all right, Rune of Perfection. This is dropped from for PvP as well. I think this is from Rep. So this is Rep related behind the Warsong one, right? Yeah, so you can do Ashen Veil, you can do Warsong, you get the Rep, you get this trinket. And then Voiker Void Pearl. This is from the last boss in BFD in the raid. When that quest item drops, you will choose Invoker Void Pearl. It's just 10 shadow resist, 8 spell power. Very, very simple trinket that you can obtain. So, and then Inscribed Gravestone Scepter. For the wand, you can be kind of greedy with the wand. You can go Gravestone Scepter, you can go the 1.2 speed wand, Phoenix Ignition, which is from BFD as well. And then I don't know if Deadlight is from the raid too, but yeah, you can be greedy with any of them. But this one is just so easy to get. You just do the quests, you do the raid, you do the quests, easy. The enchants here might not be perfect, guys, because for some reason 60 upgrades shows like high level enchants and stuff. In terms of the gear, guys, there might be like some you know, like I said, there might be some changes I'll be making here and there, but for the most part, this is a set that you guys can follow, aiming for high spell power, high int, high stam, and then armor when you can get them. In terms of talents, this is what I'm rocking with here. You can maybe drop Amplify Curse for maybe 1 more point of improved drain life. I think you'll probably get more value out of Amp Curse than 2% of healing, but these runes are kind of like a must-have for Affliction PvP. So Master Chandler, Everlasting Affliction, Haunt, go for these runes. This one's gonna be extremely hard to get. These 2 are very easy to get, but you don't need this one to play Affliction PvP. You only need these 2. This one, take your time with it. I don't even have it myself yet. I'll try to farm it today. But yeah, this is pretty much it. I think this is gonna be the build to play at 25. Not only is it gonna be good in PvP, I think it's an amazing build to do outside world stuff in. So if you're farming, if you're in dungeons, if you're in raid, even you can play this build and it'd be more than fine, more than fine. But for PvP, this is what I'm gonna be rocking at 25. If you guys have any questions, ask them below in the comments on YouTube, ask on Twitch chat, just ask me, and we can always min-max our list as well and always improve it as we 5-head our brains together.